just stand on tiptoe. That might work better. Alrighty, it's time for the more poetry part of the evening, because we have more poetry. By the way, let's have another round of applause for the 7 years of poetry here, Poetry Night. Alrighty, so we've got a few more people on the sign-up sheet than we've had as of late, and this is fabulous. We are very excited about that, because we like to hear the more the merrier. So as those of you who've come here before know, we always have a question of the month, just, to get to know you a little bit better, besides just your name and your poetry. So tonight's question is favorite seaside activity. So we've asked people to put their favorite seaside activity, and if you haven't, we will probably ask you for it when you come up here. So be forewarned and start thinking about it. And we will be reading, you're welcome to read for about 3 minutes. You can edge over just a little bit more, but please do try to keep it around 3 minutes so we can get to everybody and let the wonderful folks at Soul Food get home in a decent hour tonight. So, without further ado, first off, we have Mr. Brendan McBreen, who likes cleaning sand from his hair. Thank you.
It's not actually my favorite seaside activity, it's just the one I spend the most time on. And I have some shameless plugs for Auburn and poetry in Auburn, which is south of here. And every first Monday of the month, we have an open mic at the Station Bistro. And this month, or next month, August 5th, is Dawn Marie Oliver and Janine Hall Gailey. And also, there is the Auburn Days Festival, which includes a poetry event in the Auburn Avenue Theater. That's Sunday, August 11th. It's all day, and there's a workshop and panel discussion, lots of poets, and a contest. So, show up for that. It's the Auburn Days Poetry Festival, or just Auburn Days and then the poetry section in there. So, without further ado, I have a few short poems to read. Little bird with the big song. Are you lonely before dawn? Are you lost? Do you want company? Is that why you wake me hours before my alarm? He keeps waiting for nothing to happen. It's happening all the time, we say. But he says, no, that's not nothing enough. So he keeps waiting. And all of us wait with him, thinking that with this much waiting going on, something is bound to happen. Blue sky falls into my arms. We dance like hypochondriacs, finally free from the pressure of health. And a Sinru and a 575 haiku. Weeding. There are no slugs on the plants I pull. In 90 degrees of sunshine, support your local dermatologist. Thanks.
It's okay, I enjoyed my trip. Some more plugs. The Redmond Association of Spoken Words next reading is on Friday, June 26th, so next Friday. And it will feature Peggy Barnett. And if you haven't heard her read, she's got some great poetry, including from her new book, which is called On Your Left. And our next reading here at Soul Food, which is coming up on August 8th. Note that that is 1 week earlier than usual. That will feature Kun Woon and Elizabeth Mir. So please come back for that. And remember, it's a week early. Our next open mic reader is JT, whose favorite activity is walking on the beach. Welcome, JT.
So how's everybody doing? Good. All right, well, this is one I wrote when I was kind of taking a break from here. Long story. I'm not going to get into it. But I wrote this. This is called Conversations with My Notebook. So it goes, I've seen the error in your ways. I could never correct how you wrote your life. Jotting ideas down, never thinking twice. Putting it all out without a mini thought. Scribbling ideas out, wondering if that was smart. Crossing paths and margins, striving to pass from those who have no class. Feeling all the experiences they were teaching. Trapped behind bars, looking so serious while you were thinking. Penning it all, singing along with the same old song. Seems like you write just like them. You're stuck in a crowd that attracts no lightning. Becoming an artist, drawing blanks in your brain waves. Seeing the black and white in the page, but sometimes we aren't on that same page. I wish I could guide your hand in the right direction, but you went out like the darkest ink in the light and reflection. Still, how could I judge that you've given me to read? Your life holds your literature, and sometimes we don't agree. Fighting writer's block, you may find yourself behind enemy lines. Everybody here got enough rap sheets to match your 3 big 1 divinity rhymes. Okay. Down to slang the lead with your name on it. It was written, dropping hooks, and I'll provide the rhythm. A mind blown, leaving your face bold. But the past was too dark to erase. Up for debate, but it still holds weight. Still leaves a trace. It stays like the graffiti on the walls of liquor stores that are sandblasted and tagged with your name sitting in the upper left corner. These words are insights to your drive, trying to leave the mind uplifted. So when you put your pen down, you're ready for war with every line that you indented.
Thank you very much, JT. I'd just like to mention how hard it is to clap, pick up the paper, and walk up here at the same time. So if I do that tripping thing, you'll know why. Alrighty. Aha, there we are, more manageable level. Up next, we have Drea B with Drinking with Friends and Laying on Towels as a favorite seaside activity. That sounds good to me.
That might be 2 activities in one, but, I'm a twofer, So, Mr. Dunlap, as we heard in the beginning of this, wrote a poem about love, which I thought was awesome because he's also from my birth state of North Carolina. So my poem tonight is also about love, but mine came, and I'm a very cynical person, okay? I'm not a big lovey-dovey type, but I had a pen pal friend once who was a fellow writer and had written to me something about love, and it too was so cynical that I thought, well, no, but what if love is totally not that? And somehow this came out. So I still don't have a title for it, but here we go. Now the peeling back of the layers. Many different layers, you say? But what if there were an easier way? What if you knew love to be simple instead, without reaching for meaning or feeling too stretched? What if you knew love to be truer indeed, with a power much bigger than hate, shame, or greed? What if you knew love to be pure, like the feeling of breathing new days not assured? What if the compartments of love you believe in were actually parts of a whole you can be in, if only you opened each box your love sleeps in? Love is a force that creates limitless worlds. It's a boundless energy that captures all girls. It's a free form of thought that frees all that's stopped and unburdens men's hearts so they never feel lost. Love is an adventure and stabilizer of sorts that can frolic in sand or on streets or a porch. Love can span from a beast to a man without common words or the shake of a hand. Love can stir health in a grim place of pain. It can conquer indifference, contempt, or sheer hate. Love can flow easily in appreciation from fine cars to lovers, while at the same time juggling amends with lost brothers. Love is an almighty force you see, and it's meant to cross over from her, him, and he, as it bounces off smiles and laughter from we. Love has a toolbox with many bright tools, each shiny and new for any moment you choose, and it's all about the right love tools to use. And the best part about them, they're never abused. Love is an ocean, a desert, a mountain, a prairie, a fountain. Love is a grave, a scar, a fight, a loss, a plight. Love is sex, friendship, creation, happiness, animation. It's that feeling inside that feels so sublime, even when you're simply writing love as a rhyme. And then I have another one that's, also about love. But it's probably something that came out of love as acceptance rather than the scars that it leaves behind sometimes, and we don't do a good job at it. And this is one of those times I didn't do a good job at it, but my appreciation of love kind of helped me through it. And regardless of what it was or should have been, it is what it is, and this is how it looks. So, and I don't have a title. I love the passion between us. I love the lacking between us. I love the space we've had to capture the lag between drags of each of us. I love the contrast between us. I love the meets, the sheets, the beats, and the cheats for peace and release between us. I love the surrender to how things just and must be between us. I love the creative lives we lead outside of each for the reach between us. I seek the learned between us, and the earned I've seen, plus the plight I burned of inside from, aside from, and inside of the bleak between us. I rise to the occasion of so much outside of, but because of the chemicals produced between us. Thank you.
I don't know about the second poem, but a possible title for your first poem could be Onion. And here's another love poem. This is by Hayden Carruth. I could take 2 leaves and give you 1. Would that not be a kind of perfection? But I prefer 1 leaf, torn to give you half, showing, after these years, simply love's complexity in an act. The tearing and the unique edges, 1 leaf, 1 word, from the 2 imperfections that match. Hayden Carruth. Hayden thanks you. Next, we have someone who likes just gazing lazily, which is a wonderful thing to do on a summer sunny day at the beach. Michael Hevener.
Another one of these electronically connected people. It just means I don't have to hunt for the notepad that I used to carry. There's bread in the window across the street in a store that's locked. Oh, I wish I could cross the road and taste that scent, that flesh. Some people, friends, had me over for chatter and some wine. The drinks were dull, the crackers stale. I watched the moon instead. That window, the one with the bread, so near and still 2 lanes away. The wife and I drove across a bridge to see the northern lights, but all we saw, though, clouds of gray and later black on black. There's yeast in the air, the scent of dough across the asphalt road. The wind in her hair as we stood on the bridge reminds me of our lives.
Thank you, Michael. I like the lay, by the way. Alrighty, up next. Until I learn how to speak out of my nose, I guess I might as well lower this thing. Up next, we have Margaret Moore. Did I get your name right? And we need a favorite seaside activity from you, please. Oh, very interesting.
I'm going to read 2 quick poems about my sons and then a persona poem. So the first one is a snapshot poem of my older son. We were lucky enough to live in kind of a mixed rural and suburban area when he was growing up. Oh, and I need my glasses. This is how long it took us to read that out loud. The title is Between Storms. At the pasture fence, we feed neighboring horses carrots from your blue school bag, carrots whole or broken, your palm resting on my palm. I lift your hand, tucking your thumb, saying, flat, flat. Shot gray clouds driven over a crop knoll part for a blaze of sun, and the young white mare comes to you, comes for what you have saved. Her weight shy, light on the hooves a quick retreat, her freckled muzzle bobs, jerks, but you hold still, and she eats from your hand for the first time. You run to fetch your school bag, skated by the wind to a corner post of barbed metal. Turn and run to me, your father's shirt loose to your thighs. Across the wire, the mare matches your pace, quickens, pivots, catches your eye. You race to me, the beat of your gait, the flash of your knees, scores a memory deep as bone, drives home the hilt of it, the sun, the mare, the boy you are just now. When my younger son was 4 years old, my mom, being a total grandparent, took him to Toys R Us and said he could have anything he wanted under $100. And my 4-year-old son chose a globe, a standing globe, and brought that home, which was kind of an unusual choice. But one of the first things he did was he peeled the equator off the globe, which then tore parts of it. And somehow it became a poem about how parenting is so imperfect. My son peels the equator from the globe. Nairobi is gone. Also Singapore and parts of the Congo. The thwarted Amazon, now merely an open mouth, which shall never touch sea. Galapagos Islands have been lifted entirely from the turquoise skin and ingested, no doubt, by the cat, who chews anything found hanging too near the floor. There is a kind of grief when order is marred beyond repair. There is a kind of unnamed minor grief, inevitable as surface water. And yet, without the sticky black divisor, it is revealed that these longitudes were improperly seamed before your time, that Kenya's borders have always been askew. And here, where oceans are torn, I see for the first time a paler script, naming the submerged and magnificent, Ceylon Plain, Somali Basin, Ramosh Gap, and colors, gold, melon, lavender, the earth a mellow palette wealthy with canyons and inlets. This tattered globe recalls to me all the lands I mispronounced to you. The equator is a line on our spinning planet, closest to something hot. And this one is a persona poem. I was at the British Museum in London and I saw an unfinished sculpture, Egyptian sculpture, that was apparently commissioned as a wedding sculpture, which made me then start to think about why would you commission a sculpture and then not have the sculpture completed. There's a reference to something called the opening of the mouth ceremony, which is intended to return to the dead person some of the properties of life. Balance of heart and feather. This day, my Hupset, your mourners crossed the Nile, leaving Abydos and entering the western hills. Consolation is ungainly at the mastaba doors, and the highest priest, cloaked in leopard, keens the opening of the mouth. Not 3 springs ago, while father bartered with Nubians, you teased your brother from a papyrus skiff. You lost your best throwing stick there, where feathers of the geese hide in the rushes, at the river bank, where father left mother's fattened storks and departed with leopard pelts. Formal as nobles we were wed, children no younger than we played pulling games near tables of dates and honeyed barley cakes. Even the cattle rested from treading grain the day you wore the collar of the loon. Now, this death ceremony accomplished, you recover breath, hunger, movement, the arms of Horus wait. Go unafraid to the land that loves silence. Unweighted as it is with sin, your young heart is surely equal to any feather on the scale of Anubis. Outside the tomb, priests rejoin us, sweeping with brooms of ibis as they come, their footprints from the sand. Last night, you were not there, and I could not sleep. If you are living in the field of reeds, my husband, wait for me. Thank you.
Margaret, have you read here for us before? Well, welcome as a first timer. You've clearly done this before. This is a poem by Luther Allen, and it recently won an award in the Boynton Poetry Contest up in Bellingham. It's called Stillness. Winter, night, cold, rain, bare alder. We think in this frigid dark it is waiting for spring. No, it is just stillness. Almost as still as the patient rock wrapped in the alder's writhing, wrestling roots. That's Luther Allen. Our next reader is Ida Freilinger, and her favorite seaside activity, one I quite like, is writing haiku. Ida.
No pain, no gain, huh? Hi, my name is Ida Freilinger, and in the Isn't That a Coincidence department yesterday, I wrote a Tonka sequence about a ginkgo that Haiku Northwest took on a few years ago. And so I'm going to read that now. I was thinking about which poem should I read. Oh, well, might as well read that one. It seems to fit. So this is one ginkgo, a Tonka sequence. We met for a beach walk at a certain picnic table and walked down rickety wooden stairs to the seashore. We plod on heavy sand that does not want to let go and gather seashells as we make our way to the lighthouse. Most of us climb up the long tubular staircase that has no rail at the very top, and we see a bird's eye view as far as one can look out into the vast Pacific. We then went down the staircase. Someone offers to descend below me. We walk back along the shore, this time looking for things odder than the seashells that we treasure. I see a maple log under the sapphire sky. I sit on the rotting log and look around. Strewn mustard flowers. Sketching the lighthouse, I hear a few bees buzzing around, but they don't seem to notice me. I see a monarch butterfly also feeding on those few mustard flowers and ponder that before I leave. Behind an ocean fence, one of the seagulls, perching on the rail, stays still and eyes us in return.
Thank you, Ida. I remember that ginkgo. And ginkgo, for those of you who might not know, we're not referring to the tree. It's actually when you go on a walk to write haiku and you find things to write about. And we were writing about the lighthouse at in Port Townsend. Yes? Yes. Alrighty. And the rotting log. Yes. Alrighty. Up next, we have Mr. Jeff Wheeler, who has no favorite seaside activity yet. We're hoping. He couldn't? Oh, no. Okay. Never mind then. Next time. We'll put an absent mark on here, the attendance sheet. In that case, Gerald McBreen, who likes kite flying to watch, which is an excellent activity when the wind is right.
have one of those waistlines that when I sit down, my belt is too tight, and when I stand up, I tend to lose my britches. We have a little romance tonight, so I thought I'd follow it up. This is in that gender, but it might be just a little bit different. And I call it The Empress Bride. Eloquent fingers jazzed the keys before the organist settled into the wedding march. The bride, wearing nothing but a smile, began her stride down the aisle. Abruptly, the music stopped, and then, with hesitation, a shrug, and an inaudible, "Oh, what the hell," it started again. Neck stretched, eyeballs bulged, and even the preacher had to wipe steam from his glasses. There she was, a sight only the groom had a right to see and behold, and that reserved until after the ceremony. Preacher Purdy officiated many weddings. He prided himself at being ready for anything. With the assurance of a home plate umpire, he stepped up to the microphone. "Ladies and gentlemen, I bring your attention to the Empress Bride. Observe, she is dressed in her invisible wedding gown." Little Jerry, with the glee of a leprechaun, jumped into the aisle, pointed at the bride, and laughed. "Invisible heck, she ain't got no clothes on." Over the gasp of the crowd, Preacher Purdy was heard. "Jerry, don't look, boy, you'll go blind." Jerry's mother grabbed the boy, pushed him behind her generous hips where he could no longer see. She prayed she saved him from going blind that day. In underbreath, all over the church were whispers of, "Oh my gosh, it's her birthday suit. Thinks she's Lady Godiva." Even Eve found a leaf. Little Jerry wasn't through. He got up on the pew. On the tips of his toes, he pointed over the mother's shoulder and laughed. "Invisible heck, she ain't got no clothes on." His mother quickly set him down, and Preacher Purdy shouted, "Don't look, Jerry, you'll go blind." Few noticed at the back of the church, the bridesmaid rushed in carrying the wedding gown. When she saw the Empress Bride wearing only her birthmark, she fainted right there on the spot. The groom shook off his shock, slipped out of his tuxedo coat, and put it over his non-blushing bride, tails dusting the carpet. Preachers are not known to be fast. Truth is, they hate to give up the pulpit. They love their moment of fame. However, on this day, and everyone in the congregation agreed, Preacher Purdy pronounced them man and wife in what can only be described as undertime. He all but shooed them down the aisle to the waiting car parked outside the church door. The bridesmaid came around, got off the floor just in time to push the wedding gown into the back seat with the Empress Bride. The rented black caddy pulled away, dragging old shoes and clanging tin cans. Little Jerry ran after them, shucking off his clothes. "Don't you dare take her clothes off, boy. I'll smack your behind," cried his mother. "Wee! Hee! Look at me! I'm wearing my invisible Sunday school best." Jerry kept his knees high, his feet fast, and his shiny hiney bringing up the rear. His mother collapsed. Those who could eased her to the ground. Preacher Purdy shouted over the melee, "Put your clothes on, Jerry, before these girls go blind."
Thank you so much. And now a poem from Ogden Nash. As some of you know, I write a lot of poems about my kids, and they put up with that. But this is sort of a reaction poem to that, perhaps. It's called My Daddy. I have a funny daddy who goes in and out with me, and everything that baby does, my daddy's sure to see. And everything that baby says, my daddy's sure to tell. You must have read my daddy's verse. I hope he fries in hell. And these days, my kids probably think the same about the postings I do on Facebook about them. Our next reader, is it Emery Dinman? Am I saying that right? Okay, great. Whose favorite seaside activity is waiting for the rain to clear the beach, which I quite like. Emery Dinman.
Wish I had a phone to do this on. This would be easier. All right. One day I will go away. I always make the mistake before I come up to Mike to drink coffee because I figure, I'll get the energy. But I always do it maybe an hour before I go up, so I crash right before I get up. Anyway, one day I will go away. One day I will go away, I say, to no one in particular, to nowhere in particular. And on the day I go away, those I've left shall say, but here lies contentedness. In this place called paradise, written like anarchy on ice, but as you will, meaning depends on how you stress. Thus contentedness is the slowest death, and is all too often a gift between friends. Now my ancestral content debt is due. So do not argue for sleepy, taxable hues, for if humans must indeed rule long, contentedness is the quickest death. Progress, of course not. That's not why I leave. My eyes are sore from being burnt by little TV's waves shooting from the screens, telling me what is real, and this is a problem because I know more about Sasquatch than Wisconsin. One day I will go away, I say, to all those who said the same thing and then got jobs. Join the real world? Pfft. I putter as I write up my resume. I'm going to die, I scream for the 17th time that day, but now, no, I go away, muttering I'm not content like a mantra, a prayer to keep back sinners, friends of mine. Let us away, if you may say, but you know in your heart they want you the same, and we humans change strange with mirrors in the rooms where we dream. No, I shall go it alone. Magical things happen to those with no witness to witness the witness. And on this day I go away, empty but for echo, to the world to be filled. And then this is a poem I found from sophomore year, and it was very aggressively written, I guess, and I changed it a little bit because I don't know, I changed it a little bit. So excuse me for the angst. It's not me. It's the me I used to be. Continuing to milk rats for their blood, so our pigs may feed and feel no love in the bite. For food is life. Once never would such be questioned. Now hard to swallow, still harder to stomach. Truth wasn't lost, just covered in vomit. Repetition worked once, so let's try it again. Say never, so you may never amend. And we all have lost loved, but it's easy to pretend that we are still free and not trapped in our heads. Skulls like bleached moons, island prisons. And you're the astronaut, sailor, captain, who has been afforded mutiny, in exchange not for peace, but the perceived. Shout, be hungry or your hands, you think out loud, but it echoes dully against the fishbowl on your neck. With beaks of gray and 1,000 books on birds, the world born of fire and death shall burn, but the horsemen fear when rats grow wings to catch up with pigs in the clouds to sing, you'd weep if you knew what God did to me. Repetition worked once, so let us try it again. Say never, but never shout rend, beginnings after ends. God send that you understand this is always how it has been. Out comes the iron, and up comes the bile. Black is the day, and as wicked as the smile. And now we're asleep, and at ease we ignore. Primal prohibition was started by pimps and their whores. Too soon to move on, too late to undo. Not that I mind. I'm just like you.
Thank you for the bit of sophomore year angst. I'm sure none of the rest of us ever wrote angsty poems when we were sophomores, ever? Any show of hands, anyone? Alrighty, we have one more poet on the list, unless there are any other poets who we have missed. That wasn't supposed to rhyme. Anyway, so if anyone else wants to read after this, raise your hand now. Otherwise, we will end with Alice Doyne, who has a favorite seaside activity of playing pirates.
Hello. Oh my goodness me, I'm really small. My granny used to write poetry. Always encouraged me when I was a little girl to write poetry. And this is my poem for her and it's called Now That You Are Gone. You left, heaven called and you answered yes. Good choice. Husband gone, son married, grandchildren at school. Doesn't mean we don't miss you, your creative eye and your lack of tact. Your loud halloos and your coos, doesn't matter what it was. Photography, painting, knitting or craft. So long as it wasn't cooking, then it was your art. How much you loved me in such little time, how much I did with you which I left behind. It hurts to think how much you had which I never spent time nurturing more, especially the paper fishes and the magnetic fishing lines. This is my promise to you, that although I have strayed and wandered away, what you taught me has never left. I will nurture and bless the things which you enabled me to love. No longer shall I hide because of inadequacy and shame, but I shall learn to dance again.
Please come back. And I'd like to meet your granny. I'm sure she would have been a nice person to meet. So that brings us to the end of the evening. I would like to thank again Nicole and Terry Person. They had to leave to catch a ferry back to Port Townsend. But let's give them another round in their absence. And again, thank you all for coming tonight and sharing your poems or being in the audience. Both are important parts of this process. And I'd just like to comment on the fact that this is our 7th anniversary. We've been doing this monthly for 7 years now, which is amazing to me. And we've seen some changes here at Soul Food. The big one being the start of this month with new owners taking over. But I remember when I knew they were moving here from another location. And so a little over 7 years ago, I saw them building in here, and I saw them building this stage, and I thought, there has got to be a poetry reading here. And so I was able to talk with the owners, and they said, oh, yeah, we agree. And they have wonderful music events here all the time, and I've been pleased that to be able to provide poetry for a monthly reading here. And it began with Lana Heckman Ayers and Janine Gailey. The three of us were the original curators. Janine moved away shortly after that and then came back. Lana and I were doing it until about a year and a half ago, and then Tanya McDonald took over to help me curate. And we've had many wonderful readers, including the State Poet Laureate, Sam Green, and the current State Poet Laureate, Kathleen Flanagan. And we've had many readers locally from Seattle, from farther afield, sometimes visiting from California or back east or Oregon. There's poetry in Oregon, yes. Sorry, actually there's great poetry in Oregon. And it's been a lot of fun to do this, and I look forward to the next 7 years if we make it that far. I'm very grateful to Soul Food and its staff, especially Clint and Sarah, who have been running this place for all the last 7 years, except for the last few weeks, and many others who have contributed by being here, by listening, by reading poems, and spreading the word. And so that's what I would like to ask you to do, especially if this is your first time. Come back and bring a friend, and if this is not your first time, well, I'm glad you have already come back, and please come again. So thank you again to all of you, and good night.
Told 'em I said, no matter the town, you know the blues are waiting there. I said, I said, I said, I said, I said, and I've been to the ocean, I heard that breaking sun. Walk all day in the desert, Lord, and I slept on the cold ground. Gambled in England, gambled in Spain. Wherever I've gone, you know, the blues, they'll run the game. I said, I said, I said, I said, I said, I drank that holy water, I dined with the devil too. There's cat hair in the coffee, Lord, and dog blood in the stew. I met me some fine people, I met some evil men, but the meanest thing that I've seen was cruel, cruel rain and wind. I said, I said, I said, now I tell you, child, my dying has come. So hear these words I tell you, I beg, hear everyone. The mute can have my mouth, he don't mind the taste of gin. The cripple, he can have my legs if he don't mind where I've been. The bald, he can have the hair on my head, he can have each one for free. The blind can have my eyes if he don't mind what I've seen. I said, I said, I said, I said, this kind of wanderer's lullaby, a song he sings walking down the road. Wheels blowing over cobblestones, the wagon rolling down. Oh, how I long to go to that seaport town. Build me a home out timber strong, overlook the bay. Build me a home out timber strong, quit my driftwood ways. Oh, the winding road, I've seen many places fair, but oh, the winding road, would you ever take me there? Apples on the summer tree, the wagon rolling down. Oh, how I long to go to that seaport town. Give me a job with my two hands, work near every day. Come on home to a fire warm with a little honest pay. Oh, the winding road, I've seen many places fair. Oh, the winding road, would you ever take me there? Setting sun and a lonesome bird, the wagon rolling down. Oh, how I long to go to that seaport town. Sea breeze and the bright blue sky, sailors' faces grin. Sunshine in my true love's hair as all the ships come in. Moonlight on the water and some footsteps in the sand. Well, that's me and my darling gal, we're walking hand in hand. Oh, the winding road, seen many places fair. Oh, the winding road, would you ever take me there? Baby with his mother's eyes, sleeping in his bed. Laughter in the next room, oh, with no trouble or worrying. So wheels blown on cobblestones, the wagon rolling down. Oh, how long to go to that seaport town? Watch the time as it drifts by, heading out to sea. Till my hair's as gray as the fog on a bay, grandchildren on my knee. I said, oh, the winding road, to see many places fair. Oh, the winding road, would you ever take me there? I said, oh, the winding road, to see many places fair. Oh, the winding road, would you ever take me there? I said, oh, the winding road, would you ever take me there? No more, my troubles are over. I'm following that star. And its light will guide this night and lead me to the shore. No more, my troubles are over. The wind, it knows my name, and its voice as clear as the morning air blows no regret or blame. And ships may sing, well, the wise men change seas, but I will try and be true. Lonesome's just a word as the candle burns. I'll tend the light for you. train rolls through black night spotted by traffic light glow out the window. The imitated heart opens and closes, no nothing stays hidden for long. Well, you hide and be found, say it's not what you wanted, then you hide and be found. Hey, what took you so long? You hide and be found, say it's not what you wanted, then you hide and be found. Hey, what took you so long? A candle burns. This room's too dark to explain. Cast a shadow. It's taking my shape and it's calling my name. Well, this isn't who I am, but at the same time I really don't give a damn. At the same time I'm trying as hard as I can, and at the same time I really don't give a damn. At the same time I'm trying as hard as I can. It's been a long time alone. It's been a long time home. But I'm a stranger here. I don't know which I fear. Train rolls through black night spotted by traffic light glow out the window. The imitated heart opens and closes. The imitated heart opens and closes. The imitated heart opens and closes. My imitated heart opens and closes. Come on now, baby. Don't you fall apart on me. The wrecking ball, I hear it too. In spite our best, it will pass through. Well, I'm alright, don't worry, kid. Nothing's knocking me down yet. It's not like I can't say goodbye. I just wanna get it right, and I can never get it right. Well, some things are better left unsaid. Just let the snow still air freeze, silent piano keys, let the ghosts who linger leave this next song for the old friends, for the hey how are you man, for the hey how have you been, it's been too long, don't remember much, think about it less, now don't keep in touch, well I guess I'm not the first to sing this, here's to the faces faded from mine, and all the old places I won't be coming by. Did you make that money? Did you buy the town? Did you start that car? Or did you make it out? The rolling fairgrounds, the midnight train sounds, the morning come downs, behind them all a fire burned, and a wheel quiet turn. Oh, I swear I always heard something call, don't remember much, think about it less, I hope you got some love, 'cause I would bet I'm not the last to sing this. Here's to the dreams of a sleeping you and the restless ends that they pursue. Did you make that out? Did it slay the scene? Hey, when we gonna see you in the magazine? There's one direction, the flow of time, and I won't see you on down the line, but on a river endless, there's an age-old bridge, and if you listen closely, you'll hear it singing. What's ahead and left behind? Did you catch a break? What's ahead and left behind? Did it fall apart? What's ahead and left behind? Did you ever finish? What's ahead and left behind? Did you ever start? What's ahead and left behind? What's ahead and left behind? What's ahead and left behind? What's ahead and left behind?
Is it rolling?
If you're going down to Dallas, pour mama a shot. tell her this one's on her oldest son. And give her all the love I got. And tell Marie I'm clean now, like a warm summer's rain. And tell her I'm back on track, driving around a big old Cadillac. Spend each night calling her name. Man, I ain't gonna lie to you, everything's still going wrong. The days run like the horses wish I put my money on. And I ain't driving no Cadillac, just been drinking all night long, wondering where the time's gone. Well, the dogs in the alley mistake headlights for the moon, and I can hear 'em howling from the window of this room, where my friend, the shadow boxer, wipes the sweat from his brow, and he says imagination seems to get the best of him somehow. And my head is spinning, the room begins to shake. Oh, I would be lying if I said that I can't relate. I've been waking up screaming, the reason I can't recall, and I got a dream catcher hanging from the wall. Oh, help me rest easy, and take these heavy thoughts. Yes, I got a dream catcher. Like war drums, and the wind like a widow wail. I can hear it from the harbor where the sinking ship sets sail. Now the shadow boxer's knocked down and he's swinging from his knees. Says you even gotta fight just to plead for some mercy. Got a rose in my hand. Oh, I would be lying if I said that I don't understand. Please help me rest easy, and take these heavy thoughts. I've been waking up screaming, the reason I can't recall, and I got a dream catcher hanging from the wall. Yes, I got a dream catcher. I've been waking up screaming, the reason I can't recall, and I got a dream catcher hanging from the wall. Oh, help me rest easy, and take these heavy thoughts. Yes, I got a dream catcher. Met a woman in an alley with wilted flowers in her hair, and her beauty cracked and broken, but her smile fair. And she addressed me as child, said, "What is it that you need?" Said, "All I ask for is a rose," and she handed me a seed. Said, "There is no hurry, my young friend. Remember, all seeking trails eventually must end, and from the mountain comes the dust, and from the rain comes the rust. For every baby born, there's a ghost looking on, and from the mountain comes the dust." And I heard a man playing guitar, singing songs about loss, with a hammer hidden in every line, though delivered delicate and soft. And I just stood there hypnotized, transfixed by sound. And all around me the people passed by, but I was nailed to the ground. And on my face he saw a question. Well, how he did, I don't know, but he sang the answer loud. It's not about what you have, but what you let go. And from the mountain comes the dust, and from the rain comes the rust. For every baby born, there's a ghost to mourn, and from the mountain comes the dust. So as I continued on, everything as it was appeared. The stars were just busted glass, and the moon a dirty mirror. And I saw myself reflected, and I saw the movement of it all. I saw a young boy made to run. I saw a man made to crawl. And I saw the war medals of my grandfather, and I saw my mother's dinner plates, and I saw my sister's child's clean hands, and I saw my brother's face. And I saw the road before me, and I saw what I left behind. Oh, I saw the seas of infinity, and I saw the river of time. And from the mountain comes the dust, and from the rain comes the rust. For every baby born, there's a ghost looking on, and from the mountain comes the dust. Oh, from the mountain comes the dust, and from the rain comes the rust. For every baby born, there's a ghost looking on, and from the mountain comes the dust. For every baby born, there's a ghost looking on, and from the mountain comes the dust. You're the trace of my smile, babe. You're the lines in my palm. Late night wandering lost, you're the light left on. You're my endless journey, you're the shore I settled upon. And no matter the miles, babe, I'll always keep you near. And I talk to myself, and I hope that you hear. But I ain't gonna make you read my mind, I'ma say it loud and clear. You're the only one for me. Oh, and loving you is easy. It's like resting peaceful and waking up to a dream. That's right. was a boy, fell in love, now it's time to turn into a man. So there's no games or expectations, there's no hoops to jump through. The sky is clear, my love, no need to paint it blue. Well, I'll tell anyone, but I wanna say it to you. You're the only one for me. Oh, and loving you is easy. It's like resting peaceful and waking up to a dream. It's like resting peaceful and waking up to a dream. Well, I'm just resting peaceful and waking up to a dream. Saw the face of my heart in a lit cigarette as the highway stretched from her coat pocket all the way to a dawn I was trying to forget so quick. It would be coming. She said, tomorrow I'm bound back down the coast. Each word a razor and hanging like ghosts, but the sound of the rain I remember the most. So gentle, and it's falling, and the trees they trembled, the ground it groaned. The wind blew sideways, called no place home. Oh, how foolish those things that we say and we don't. I just stood there, saying nothing. And God, what a silence descended then. Heavy as a hammer, hard on our heads. For my betraying eyes, they had all unsaid, just written plain upon them. A bended knee said, I beg you to stay. My back well turned, go away, go away. I just argue with myself, oh, what do you say? A reply is all I'm wanting. And farewell, farewell, the winds they wail. Farewell, cried the flowers, false and frail. And farewell, said she, standing against the pale cold light.
There it is. It was my volume. Ching boom.
Jesus, are you real? Or did we make you up? Is salvation what you want? Or is faith enough? Do you know where I'm bound? Do you know who I am? Or are you just a word I use when I don't understand? Standing like a statue in the sea, in a little truck stop in Tennessee. Bombs are crashing down in waves on a strong enough to show your love, strong enough to live, strong enough to go through hell, strong enough to give. All night long I sat with you in a darkened hospital room. Nurses trudging by the hour, was made aware of a higher power. What a fragile life we live. No, it's not ours to keep, but ours to give. What in this world am I gonna do if anything should happen to you? All I do is doubt you, God. All I do is love you, God. All I do is question you. What else can I do? This world was never solid ground. The past is coming back around. All I do is search for you. What else can I do? When I sing, I search for you. I mean, I search for peace. I search for hope. I search for love. And one day for release. Jesus, my life does not feel the same. New things happen every day now, things I can't explain. But I am not a man of faith, no, I'm a man of proof. Is this feeling in my heart? Is this feeling true? When you do not know, you know. And when you know, you do not know. And when you think you do, you die. Oh, when you do not think you grow. Are we left here in the dark, or are we left here in the light? It seems to me that both are true. It's up to us to know what's right. All I do is doubt you, God. All I do is love you, God. All I do is question you. What else can I do? This world was never solid ground. Religion cannot help me now. All I do is search for you. What else can I do? When I say I search for you, I mean I search for peace. I search for hope. I search for love, and one day for release. God, give me strength to expect the things that I just cannot know. And even when I lose control, I will not let you go. It's that song at the end of the night, you know? Oh. Wow, thank you. That means a lot coming from you. I try to go to the same place you go when you play. You know, I watch you when you go. Man. Wow. I was so inspired by you guys tonight playing. Yeah.
1, 2, 3. I don't know though. Sounds pretty friggin' good to me.